To another dream. No. How about another nightmare? Full of violence, speed, momentum. That's the type of suffocation that I like to dream about. I like to feel. Domination, baby.
Hello, welcome to the Overwatch All-Star Trials presented by Star Esports. I'm Ryan. Today we have SubZero and the New York locals facing off against each other. I'm joined by Moshi Man. Moshi Man.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Moshi Man. I'll be casting for you today. Excited for the match.
Yeah, it should be a good one. A lot of big names here, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, everyone's always looking for their opportunity in the Tier 3 community. So, everyone's trying to make their biggest impact they can.
Yeah, we're here to see what impact each team can make. Exciting to see the plays they have coming out. Which names would you say stand out most for you?
Well, we got Javion up here. I recognize his name, streaming community. But we also got HK Broke on the other side, who has a very large name because of the funny font he has going on.
That is true. Doomfist player.
Yep.
All right, well, we're going to be moving to Oasis first. Excited to see what the teams can bring here. Oasis is, of course, a control point map. We're very interested in seeing control point, versus maybe payload. They're just such different game modes, and
yeah,
once you have that hold on the point, it's really hard to break in, and they're going to have to adapt to those kind of play situations. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on.
Yeah, especially now a new patch just coming out. So who knows where the meta's at right now? See what these teams want to do. Probably sticking to the double shield for now. A lot of Doomfist Reaper, but you never know what experimenting can happen now with the new patch and buffs all around and nerfs all around.
Right, so pretty much the meta is still Orisa, Sigma, Reaper, Doomfist, and supports of your choice. So potentially Moira.
Moira's a big one right now. Yep.
Yeah. So what really happened in the patch? So we had Sigma. We have his he now has a 1 second cooldown between his cast of his shield, and it regenerates a little slower.
Yep. Definitely a little funny to play right now, but I'm sure the best of the best don't really have a problem.
Right. Definitely going to be able to adapt there.
Yep.
Any other notable things you remember from the patch there?
Well, we might be seeing the rise of dive a little bit again. Winston buffs, and that Tracer buff is pretty huge right now with the damage fall off. So I wouldn't be surprised if a team tries out dive.
Yeah, that'd be pretty exciting. I mean, I always love watching dives, so it's kind of like, we get to see them all work together, coordinate, do a nice clean dive. I don't know, that can be one of the most exciting things to cast. So I'd be looking forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, with these new changes, you're going to have to be really trying to be the team that figures out what works best first. Because once you do that, you define the meta, and you can control any game you want. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Once you're in a commanding position like that, you have no problems.
Yeah. But,
cool.
Yeah, definitely on a map like Oasis, though, I definitely expect the double shield coming out right away. Small points, keep it close. Know what you're playing. Stick to what you know.
Yeah, they're going to have to be on their most, one of their most comfortable positions to just compete in the first place, right? Like they're going to have to either know every character at a high level, or their specific roles they'll be locked in. So we'll see what each team favors in the match for sure.
Yeah. Should be getting in here shortly now.
Yeah, both teams are almost ready. Just waiting for a couple more players to ready up, and we'll get into the match for you guys. Excited to cast this for you guys. It's been a minute for me, so definitely gonna be hype.
Yeah, no, me too. Nothing really like getting into some good Overwatch gameplay here. It's always exciting to see the top of the top go at it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You want to watching high tier gameplay is like one of the joys of Overwatch in general. Like there's a reason people watch Overwatch League and Contenders and all that stuff. They want to see the show matches. They want to see these high level strats and incorporate them into your own gameplay. People say one of the best ways to learn is, of course, to watch professionals and players better than you. So this is one of those kind of opportunities, and it's also fun to cast because I would say I learn a lot while I'm casting, despite despite everything.
And if you want to show who's the best of the best in this game, we got a MVP poll down below in the Twitch panel. Vote for who you think is performing the best in this game. Right now, it's a little hard to tell since the game hasn't started, but keep an eye out for your MVP.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to get the deep info on who your favorite players are. Mm-hmm. So maybe we can talk to them after the match, or spotlight them as spectators. The whole deal.
Absolutely. So head into Oasis now.
Oh, here, yeah. I mean, so far, probably expecting to see some sort of mix of dive and shields. Sigma can move around pretty well, so I'll just wait for them to pick their heroes here. Yep. Looks like
it's a very vertical point.
Yeah, on the side of triple tank. No, obviously we can't have double. We gotta have Orisa Hog. I don't know. I got tricked there. Pharah without Mercy. Then we're gonna have potentially switched off the Widow. So Reaper, Doomfist for one team, but we're gonna have the Pharah mix up and the double shield from both teams.
All right, we're getting the pharmacy out from New York now.
What a surprise!
Double shield on the side. A quick punch comes in from HK. Already one down on the side of New York. SubZero trying to take their first point, and they roll right over New York. A quick cap gonna come in here with not much of a fight from the locals. SubZero rolls over them.
SubZero, yeah, just really clean fight. The Pharah Mercy was almost kind of removed from the fight the whole time, so maybe they weren't able to contribute as much, but this, SubZero has established themselves on the point, and New York going to be able to deny the high ground, at least, during this fight.
SubZero going straight back in again, trying to take it, and the Moira down right away. The barrage comes out from Javion, doesn't get much, just the Lucio, and SubZero is going to be able to hold and keep the point. Just their brawl is too much to handle right now.
That was another, really slick take. I think the Moira ult may have been too much, but you saw how quickly that was obtained. Like they had the Moira ult so fast. Yeah. And I don't really see any other ults coming up too soon, but New York is probably going to have to try to contest with bongos or with their own Moira ult. So we'll see.
A big rock comes in already. Mudkipper down. Cash gets a double kill. And it doesn't look like New York is going to be able to find anything.
Yeah, there's just too much pressure here on the tanks. Doomfist, Reaper, the Doomfist knocks the tank out of position. The Reaper gets in close and just, annihilates them. And they need to be really aware of their positioning here. And maybe they can get a quick pick. Got a couple ultimates coming up online for New York.
Quick kill on to Javion from HK.
Yeah.
Meteor Strike comes out, doesn't find much, but damage is already done. And SubZero is just absolutely controlling every tempo right now.
Yeah, it looks like Javion is going to try to touch around on the flank, but
HK's
he
there.
has been noticed. Yeah. Yep.
They get a touch on from Mudkipper, overtime ticking away. But it doesn't seem like locals can buy a Elim right now. And they're gonna be shoved off the point. Ooh, every out just being countered.
Yeah, that was definitely just kind of a last-ditch effort there, and it went well. We saw a Moira ultimate, and then we saw a Reaper ultimate. If they would have just had a few more seconds, maybe they would have been able to get in with both of those ults at the same time. But unfortunately, that's just not how it played out. So, well, they'll have to bring it back in the second round. Maybe Oasis is just not their map, but SubZero looking extremely strong here in the first round.
Yeah. I gotta thank you for the Prime Sum, Commander Data.
Ooh, Prime Sub.
Absolutely. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you follow and sub, just like Commander did. Second point, let's see if the locals can put anything together.
Yeah, they're pretty much on the same comps here. Javion switching off of Doomfist to the Mei. Maybe that'll give them the safety that they need from all of the damage SubZero is putting out.
Punches come out. SubZero going a little low, but right now it's a... Oh, and 2 quick kills on the side of the locals. So it looks like they're going to win the first fight after that stomp first round.
Yeah, a very clean...
Maybe the Mei was the pick there.
I mean, it was a really clean take, right? So
yep.
I don't think anyone from New York died, and SubZero pretty much just walked in and got not even too much charge. Like, we see the Moira, of course, really high charge, and the Sigma coming up on ultimate in the far future, but they didn't really give SubZero too much to work with.
Coalescence comes out now from Aniyun, but the responding Coalescence comes out a little bit later, hopefully give the extra sustain, and If You Stay is already down. The brawl on the point, but without the DPS, it looks like SubZero is going to take hold.
Yeah, just Aniyun trying to stall a little bit there at the end, but SubZero, they kind of dry pushed a little bit and waited to see if New York would kind of use anything, and they ended up using that Moira ult there and were able to out brawl and took the point, you know, with a little bit of a fight, but New York's coming back to see what they can do.
Ult's online, a wall comes up in the middle of the point trying to separate up, and they do separate Churro from the healers, so that means that without their main tank, locals are gonna be able to push on and take space. The Flux comes out with the beats there, right to counter. Another Flux, another beat, with the Mei ult's out, trying to freeze and section off the point, and it does! 3 down on the side of SubZero. And now it looks like it's just gonna be stalling out, trying to get as much ticks as they can.
Yep, just Churro hanging on in the last second, and Greg has a nice little melee to take Churro out, and that was, you know, well done. They used their ult advantage to kind of push them off the point, but as you can see here, SubZero is going to be coming back with 4 ultimates. They're going to have to make use of their offensive and defensive ultimates the best that they can. It's going to be hard to be efficient here, so we'll see how it goes.
Punch in and immediately out for the Doomfist. On fight, the Supercharger comes out, but the Coalescence takes it down.
Reaper ult.
Big pull into the Meteor Strike. Cash takes down If You Stay. H-Key gets taken down in response.
Oh, the boot
goes into the pit. What a boot.
Oh, man. They were ready for that one.
Finally, the Supercharger comes out on the side of SubZero, trying to get the extra damage to take this fight. At the very end, 2 kills come out. But If You Stay gets 1 in return, but nope. Looks like SubZero is gonna take it back.
Yeah, just too much damage coming out from and they had the numbers advantage from SubZero, so they used, you know, both teams low on ults now. This is the position that New York wants SubZero to be in. They are going to be able to have their Sigma ult though, so they're going to have to be careful when they push. They've got 40%, probably potentially 2 or 3, maybe.
Oh, Mixie doesn't have his beat yet. Coalescence comes out. 66 to 92 on the board. And HQ Broke is already down. That's both the DPS down now. Javian throws his Mei ult just to get the point, and they're going to lock this one down and potentially take point 2. It's going to be hard to get a good recontest with 95%.
Seriously, they're going to put it in from overtime. HP Broke is sitting down below the point, trying to get a little contest just on the last second, and Ball is also out.
The ball out, but HQ is already down. Flux comes out, Beat's there to respond to it though. Won't be much of a problem. Flux comes out from Greg, but luckily, another beat.
Wow.
But without
So many kills coming out from New York.
without the regroup, doesn't look like SubZero is going to be able to put up enough of an attack to take that point.
Yeah, that was pretty close. That was definitely closer than round one in the reverse roll there.
Yep.
So that was a great showing from New York. I didn't really see any precarious position from them. Like, they always seem to have it under control, and that's what they want. So they're warmed up now and ready to bring SubZero the fight that they deserve. So round 3 is going to be not the tiebreaker, but the deciding round. Deciding round. So excited to see what goes on.
Looks like Javion will be staying on the Mei for this round. The only difference in the comps, H-Key on the Doomfist.
Yeah, H-Key still on the Doomfist, right? And Javion back on the Mei.
A punch in, damage done. I know Jason is already down, but H-Key trades his life. So without the main tank, you think there's going to be enough space on the point. Another DPS down. It's a back and forth battle right now. Javion locked in the middle of the team. A big wall comes out. And it looks like SubZero is going to push them back enough to take control and take the first point.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I think we saw Mei freeze a couple. We saw Mei freeze Sigma, and we saw Mei freeze Reaper, Javion specifically. But New York was not able to capitalize on the freezes just because there was so much pressure coming out around their team. So great job grouping up.
Try to take it again. Trading Coalescence come out, just keeping each other up. But Jason again down first. And it's going to be another retreat.
They keep trying to get through these choke points, and SubZero really knows how to, position themselves in the choke to stay safe. So great play there. I mean, I love seeing this kind of play. It looks dominating, but I think that, based on what we saw from New York, they're going to be able to leverage this Sigma ult that they have coming online to potentially take the point back. So let's see.
Jason keeps getting caught out first. Flux comes in with the pull. The wall comes up to try to block them away. Everyone low on the side of locals. And with 2 down, another failed attempt at a push.
Yeah, they've got to die here.
But it's just not enough. 1 death isn't enough.
Yeah, that really just doesn't matter. They're going to be able to taxi with the Lucio back to the point, and it's going to be 6v6. So definitely SubZero favored right now. Maybe New York can get a couple clutch ultimates in here, but if you stay only at 7%.
4 ults against 2. They're going to have to... This is the last fight. 95%. Beat comes out. And a huge Death Blossom for Trev. And that's going to lock up the point and the map for SubZero. Coalescence just to celebrate at the end. Anyon won't be able to stall long enough for anyone else to come back. And that's map 1.
Fighting chance there, but they were really just shut down by SubZero. So great job to SubZero, and awesome round 2. Always love to see it close though, at least. So
round 2 was a very close back and forth map, but the first and third just all in the control of SubZero.
Yeah, just really nothing that New York could do. There was just so much grouping and coordination, and the double shield is so hard to penetrate once you get into those choke points, once the team caps. So that's how control point goes. It favors the person who potentially caps it first. So
got to give New York credit for where they did their best.
Of course.
Map 2, great map, but it wasn't enough. Just something about map 1 and 3, they just dominated. Maybe it was the Doomfist picks there. Javion, a good Mei, very good, especially on map 2. But
yeah,
maybe the Doomfist just too strong for it.
I mean, the huge amount of difference in damage output and literally just walking through shields makes a huge difference with that, right? So
Yep.
it's amazing.
We've seen the May Reaper work many times, but in this double shield, it's hard to get those freezes off and get into the other team like Doomfist can with May.
Right.
So next we are going to be going to Horizon Lunar Colony. Maybe New York can get a bit better of a hold onto the point this time, because they had it many times, or they almost had it many times, but couldn't really sustain themselves on the point.
Right. Yeah. On attack and defense, you know, or on assault maps, you get the opportunity to defend and attack. So they're just going to have to be very careful on defense of SubZero's momentum that they gain, you know, through the first point onto the second point. If they're not ready for them to, you know, come all the way to the last point as soon as they can, they're, you know, they just need to be careful, right? So we'll see how they hold this first point, and then on the last point too. So
Absolutely. It looks like we have New York on the attack first, so maybe they'll try to get the momentum right away. You know, steamroll the first point, get that confidence, and see if they can get the full hold second point.
right, that's of course what they want.
On 2CP, momentum is a huge factor. Steamrolling first point gives you so much confidence.
Seriously, you know, not just a moral boost, but like it's super good for that in the game too, right? Like you can just walk to the last point. There's not going to be any or many defensive ults up from their team. You'll be like one-on-one ults. So if you can stagger them there on the first point, you just have an insane amount of advantage here. We're going to see Bastion and Baptiste, though. The double B combo behind all of those shields.
Definitely a hassle to play against. Looks like New York is pulling out the May Reaper again, but this time Dapper is in on the May.
Yeah, using that wall to block off the Bastion sightlines is a really smart play. It allows them to just walk onto the high ground and potentially the point. So let's see if they can make use of that.
Getting ready to
kind
go.
of stalled
Take
right
the
now.
high ground. Block off the Bastion again. Right up in his face now. Now it's just a brawl straight on. A big anti comes out and 2 down immediately. That anti not allowing any sustain to happen. New York gonna try to look for a free tick. Greg gets Trev though. With the Bastion down, maybe something can come out of this. But Greg gets taken down. So now it just seems like they're staggering themselves on the point.
Yep, they just need to die and get out so they can attack again and not feed too much ult charge. So a quick fight there. We're going to see the H key on May with his ult coming up soon, and maybe we'll see Aniun pop their coalescence on this fight too. So
They did get the Bastion kill, but he's back already. So no window of opportunity for him.
yeah, Trev taunting with his voice line there, but here comes the Maywall.
Ooh, a counter Maywall on from H-Keep. Stops
That's
the
huge.
momentum. They're not going to get any freebies here. They're going to all
None at
go
all.
on the right side, looking to take some point presence. Wall comes out, blocks the Bastion for just a second, but this Bastion, he just tears right through that.
They've almost got one tick.
Churro gets taken down, he was out of position. The Mail comes out in the middle of the point, and Trev gets 2. New York is zoned off, and they don't have any point presence anymore. They all got zoned off from the Mail. And Trev,
Sounds about right.
with Javion, gets 3! 3 for Javion, now it's a tank battle on the point. 1v1, Jason versus Greg, and Jason comes out on top!
Oh my god, the hopping centaur just takes the point all by himself.
Orisa pulls it out against the Sigma. And that's going to be New York taking the point on the back of a Javion 3K and a 1v1 clutch from Jason.
That's insane, man. Definitely not going to be able to even contest that. Just like if they try to get there, New York has the spawn advantage and SubZero is just not going to be able to. So they just stay at last and wait for New York to push on to last, which they do right now.
Locals, but a big punch already out from HK. The Moira down, not much healing in. But Javian coming in with his Death Blossom gets 2. HK takes him down in return. The
They
Flux
need to get on the point.
Can the locals actually pull this one out? 2 more down. 3. SubZero falling on the point after their first pick. And this might be it for the map.
Just girl left. HK
wall
on the
comes
right.
HK doing as much as he can. Flux comes out from Greg. Just trying to cap the point. Ball is out on Cash. See if he can stall it out enough. The healers are back, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh,
Couldn't stall for long enough. And a quick second point from the locals.
wow, yeah, seriously.
They really snowballed that first point into that second one.
Yeah, just like we were talking about, we saw them just, push all the way through. There wasn't quite enough ultimate presence on the defensive team to contest all of the ults that the offense had. Like, I mean, you saw that they used May ult, and they used I think they used Coalescence, and they used Sigma ult, the Flux, and it's just like too much. You can't handle that much pressure. And then they switched to Ball to just try to get to the point, so they lost ultimate charge there. So they had to put themselves behind, try to get behind their spawn advantage, but it just wasn't quite there, So
Yep, a huge snowball. And we'll see how they choose to defend it now so it doesn't happen to them. And it looks like they'll be going with the Bastion and Batiste too.
yeah, definitely a good strat here, right? So they just have all of this open space that the Bastion can shoot on, and Bastion can just kind of turn around and protect the point. Behind those shields, maybe they can use that Mei wall just like the offense did last round. So only real difference is we're going to see D.Va and we're going to see Genji. Potentially. They're still in spawn.
Yeah. Could a dive be coming out from SubZero?
I think it could be, they're expecting the Bastion, so.
Yes. Looks like Trev's gonna scout out, see what's going on. And SubZero's gonna stay on the dive.
And now we have Churro. Yeah, we have Churro and Winston now.
We got a full dive coming out. We got a Sombra Genji dive, of course.
Woo, this is gonna be exciting.
SubZero waiting for their moment to pounce. Locals sitting up top. And here comes the dive. Quick on top. But Batiste Immortality comes out. So no kills are going to be had. Greg gets Trev right away. And Cash demeched and killed. And it's not going to happen on their first attempt. The Bastion,
really
too
tried,
much damage.
They really tried, though. That was a nice, well-coordinated attempt. They just weren't able to get the damage through that they needed from that D.Va without the support of everyone. So we saw the Sombra try to get in and hack the Bastion, but the Ana was in such a weird position on the stairs, on the back right of the point, that Sombra wasn't able to actually walk past Ana without being revealed and then hack the Bastion at the same time. So
SubZero a little split up now. And it's really hard to get a dive when the Batiste Immortality field is there. Just plop it down. And your team can't die from the high explosive damage. Another dive coming in.
Indeed.
The Mayall comes out from Javion, and everyone's frozen. The Blade comes out. 2! Right away! 3!
They've almost got 2 ticks.
And that's 4! 5! It's a team kill! The Blade is huge!
Oh, that was
Blade
perfect.
comes out at the last second. And SubZero takes point A.
Wow, that was quick. That was 2 fights for both teams. I think actually New York might have needed one fight, but or 2 fights. Sorry, 3 fights for New York. But that was 2 fights for SubZero, and that was super impressive there. One or two ultimates in the face of a couple even from Team New York. So.
Yep. SubZero switching over to the double shield now to first point. Trev staying on the Sombra right now because he's close to EMP. Wall comes out,
May.
pulls him apart. Cash is down low by himself, really pulled apart from his team. Churro's gonna have to try to drop to save him, but the Nano comes out on the Reaper. It takes down Cash. And Churro, the tanks are down. 4 down now. And it looks like no snowball is going to be happening for SubZero.
Yeah, not this time. That Ana is just in a really hard to contest position, and the amount of healing she can put out all the way, to all the corners of the point is super difficult to deal with. So maybe they need to get some sort of dive or like a widow pick onto that Ana. But looks like they're gonna move on the right side of the point now.
Flux comes out. No beat there to counter it. But the EMP to counter it, actually. Greg takes out Cash, and that's 2. 3 for Greg.
Oh my.
And SubZero is not going to get any progress. The EMP holds no results after holding on for it for so long.
Seriously, EMP builds fairly quickly right now, and they need to utilize that. So maybe they'll be thinking about, oh, looks like they've switched off of the Sombra and onto the Reaper. I think that's a good choice.
Looking
Gonna
for
try to pierce those damage sponges that are the tanks.
Yes. Going underneath now. Trying to look for any angle to approach this. The wall isn't quite effective, but it gets rid of the retreat. Beat coming out quick. No flux, so it's just a attacking beat. Churro's down right away. The Coalescence can't keep him up. Both tanks down.
Bunch of kills coming out from New York.
Yep, looks like the locals are just out damaging SubZero. Even when there's a trade, Dapper getting the stagger onto Cash there too. So it's going to take even longer for them to get reset.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them. They've got about 2.5 minutes left, and New York looking very strong on defense. So
SubZero has 0 ults on the board. Churro's a little bit close, but it's not that great. While on the side of New York, they have the Flux coming up, Death Blossom, and of course Coalescence.
Yeah, seriously, they're going to be able to utilize those in their fights, every time. So I think that SubZero needs to realize that, recognize that, and bait those out. So if they can just hold their trigger fingers for now. Oh.
1 from Death Blossom from Dapper, but nothing else. Flux comes out from Cash, and a countering Flux comes out, but it's not going to be enough damage because the damage is already done.
Oh, this
New
is
York.
huge. Oh my god.
3, 4 down. And that's it. The Moira gonna be able to stall for a second. Not much. Ball comes out just to take as much time. B comes out, keeps the ball alive. Now there's 2 on the point.
They're gonna have this spawn advantage.
Time to stall. The Rhine comes in, a stall Rhine. Javion on the May, and no kills are coming out from the side of SubZero.
Oh no.
Could New York be taking this back?
Oh yeah, right. Here comes the May ult, right?
But 3 on the side from SubZero. They fight right back. And no one is left on the point standing. The Lucio can't touch. 6 on the point. No one's going to be even close. And after a long stall, SubZero's going to take it. And not in overtime. So they are going to have an attack.
Yeah, that's really important for them. They got it right at the last 1 minute mark. It's going to give them a really good opportunity to attack. So let's see if they can pull it off again.
Yeah, it took them a little bit last time, so it might be a little more difficult with the Bastion. 1 minute isn't a lot to get around that Bastion.
Seriously, they definitely want to build up those ultimates to just crush the Bastion, but like you said, that's very difficult in 1 minute. So let's see if they can pull it off. Maybe they're going to have to try some spicy stats. Looks like they're going with the Genji again. They realize that the dive is something they've probably worked on and planned to do. So hopefully it pays off for them.
Doesn't look like we're seeing the Bastion on the side of the locals. Maybe trying to catch them off guard.
Yeah. They're going to have that double shield and the Mei. So when they try to dive in, the Mei's just going to freeze them up. And that's probably potentially worse than a Bastion. So a lot more mobile anyways.
Absolutely. May not as much damage output, but definitely a lot of zoning capability. which
Yeah.
could be detrimental to a dive.
The Sombra scout from Trev is going to let them know that, and looks like they're
Yep.
changing
Go
their comp
straight
up
to the
to
double
adapt.
shield.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's taken them about 20 seconds, though. They're going to get to the point probably about 30 seconds. And
It's gonna be
gonna
just
give
one
them
fight.
Just one fight, guys.
Taking the low ground. Maywall comes out, tries to split them apart, slows them down just a bit. Nothing happening there. Locals take hold on the point. It's gonna be a point battle. Trading punches come out. Maywall sections them in half. And Cash is frozen on point. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Dapper goes low and dies right away. No tank or damage dealer on the side of the locals. And SubZero is gonna take it with 1 minute.
Yeah, looks like they're going to make it.
So that's
Wow.
gonna be point A for SubZero. They go off the dive, stick to the double shield, and just pound their way through the defense of the locals.
Seriously, there was almost no contest there. Both teams just walked right up to each other. They said, "Hey, what's up?" and started pounding away at those shields, see who Doomfist could get, and it worked out in SubZero's favor.
15 seconds left. Dueling Coalescence out now. Mayo comes out from Javion, taking hold on the point. A few members dead already. Cash is down. The Flux comes out, trying to hold everyone off the point. The sound barrier comes out to try and counter it. And 3 are dead on the side of New York. Looks like SubZero might be able to take both points with just a minute on the clock.
They've got to kill these stall heroes, though.
They're gonna focus down the ball right now. Death Blossom comes out, doesn't get much because only the ball's on point.
One tick.
Gonna look for an area. Sound barrier comes in to try to sustain the Doomfist and the Lucio. No
Yeah.
deaths for a while, but 98%. The Reinhardt doesn't get much. And the Death Blossom, he gets booped off. Everyone gets booped off. And that's round 3.
There's
SubZero actually manages to get both points.
Oh my gosh. That's really impressive in 1 minute. Amazing. I mean, we know that Horizon can be a fast, snowbally map, especially, on the offense. It's just like, can be super crazy, but I mean, what are they going to do? New York has 3 minutes to do the same thing.
Yep.
So we'll see if they can pull it off. Maybe they'll go for a different strategy than they did in first round, just to kind of throw off SubZero on defense. So
Yep.
I don't know. It's up in the air.
I don't know,
This
I'm
could
not
also
really-
be New York's chance.
I'm not really feeling good about New York right now. They didn't really have any strong presence on that defense.
Yeah. I feel like they have lost some morale. I feel like they were in high spirits. They did a good job on the first attack round, and now it's time for them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get back into the game here.
You can't get too disheartened right now. Because
Yeah,
they
seriously.
still have the opportunity to at least clinch a tie with this attack. 3.5 minutes is definitely enough time to pull it together and take both points with time remaining.
Definitely. Here we see the Bastion and the Baptiste yet again, this time with the Mei. And on the offense, we're going to have a similar comp as to what SubZero ran. The Sombra was there to scout, but now onto the Mei.
Yep. No Doomfist coming out.
Yeah,
So
that's
they're gonna have to-
interesting.
Doesn't seem like this team likes to run Doomfist a lot. Wall comes out, denying them that right side, and Trev gets Jason right away. And without their main tank, are they going to have any opportunity to push right away? They're locked up in that right corridor.
Yeah, they're kind of trapped there too. Bastion just has such high damage output that it's going to be difficult both for Jason to walk to his team, but it looks like some of them have gone into the space. Sigma has gone into space to try to just not die, basically.
See if they'll be able to get their Orisa to them. They do.
Ooh.
The wall comes out. Mike Kipper a little stuck, but should be able to make it.
They're together now.
Full team in that stairway. Just waiting for an opportunity now.
Yeah.
The
We
Bastion.
got yeah, the Bastion
Gonna
has
hold
the
him down.
ultimate.
Wall comes out.
They walk towards them.
Too much. 2 on the low ground now, so the Bastion's alone on top. A huge anti-nade. Let's see if they can take advantage of that. Trev goes down. The Bastion out of the fight. And Javion gets the Batiste. So now it's a two down for New York. HK takes down Javion. But it's just going to be a matter of time now.
Yeah, seriously, HK trying to stall out the point, but it's a numbers fight now. So one of the big things I saw in that fight was that the Ana was in a really weird position and was kind of instantly cut off. Despite getting that huge purple, was cut off from their team as soon as New York pushed. So they were on the opposite high ground, and they weren't able to actually join the team when the fight moved to the point. So their team was basically down that healing the whole time. So that's difficult to deal with, but great job from New York for taking advantage of that.
Nothing switched up for the second point just yet. Trev sitting up there on the Bastion. The Batiste gets pulled down and killed right away, but the Mayall comes out. And that's 3 down, 4 down. The Bastion just tears into them through the Mayall.
Yeah, they realized that was going to happen.
Even with the opening pick, they hold there. The Mayall keeping them in place, and the Bastion just mowing them down.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to win that fight with just basically one ultimate,
Just one ult.
that's huge.
Cash coming up on his Graviton, but otherwise they have every ult except for the Mayall.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining here, and they're going to try the same strategy here, knowing that the Mayall does not exist from SubZero this time.
More of an opening here. 45 seconds remain. See if they can pull anyone off the high ground right now.
Oh, they're trapped by the Mayall.
Let's see if... Nope, SubZero's not going to pounce on that.
They're walking up around backside, and there comes their own Mayall.
Cash eats the Mayall, so it's not going to be effective. The Batiste ult comes out, and the Nano onto the Bastion. So much damage right now on the side of SubZero. There's going to be absolutely no opportunity. Javion gets 4! 5!
Oh my god!
5 with the Death Blossom, and he just rips through all of them. Trev couldn't do enough damage fast enough.
This is exactly what they wanted to see.
They're going to take it. 10 seconds on the clock, too.
What the heck? Oh my god.
Javion pulls out the Death Blossom at the final second and rips through each member.
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. That is close, dude. Holy crap. Well, now we've got basically, same time for both teams here, and we're gonna see, them, play down to the wire. So,
Which team can do the most with the time that they're given?
we saw what SubZero could do with 1 minute beforehand. Can New York pull off the same kind of thing on offense, potentially to force the tide? So they're going to be attacking again. I'm sure they're feeling good about that last round. They're on their high. So let's see if their defense will live up to it here.
Looks like they're going to be trying out the Bastion. Very common. They didn't do it last time.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, it didn't work last time. So forcing SubZero maybe to run suboptimal, quote unquote, heroes is what they need to do to extend out that time clock. So we'll see. We're of course going to see Trev with the Sombra Scout yet again. A smart play, despite the time deficit that it gives you if you decide to change.
You're basically just going for one fight anyway.
Yeah, basically. They already know that that's the maximum capability they can. So now we see Cash back on the Diva, Churro on the dive.
Coming out.
Yeah,
It worked last time, but it took them 2 attempts. So let's see if they can make it work. Genji and the Diva heading off to the right side. And the dive should be coming in at any second now. Here they go. Right onto the Bastion. Mayall to block off the healing. And Batiste says no any damage. 2 down on the side of SubZero. 20 seconds to go. We're going to have to do a quick regroup. They jumped on, and the Batiste did not let anyone die. The tank's still fighting down low, being healed from far away from the Ana. They're gonna have to back up. Churro down without their main tank. Someone's gonna have to touch. Lucio speeding off in the right side. Can anyone touch? Overtime is triggered. And it's gonna be a brawl on the point. But dive isn't made to brawl on the point. Nano goes on to the Genji, but he has no blade. Cash is down. H-Key down too. Nothing happening for SubZero with this dive. Churro gets back in, trying to pound as much damage as he can. Just trying to stall it out. The Primal comes out, giving some more sustain on the point, but Dapper's playing Batiste. He just mows him down. The dive doesn't turn out great for SubZero.
Yeah, it was a valiant attempt though, but that's all she wrote for dive on Horizon Lunar Colony. Let's see what New York can do. It's gonna be tough, but I think that this might be their opportunity to bring it back. So, woo.
A big attack here from New York to pick up the second map. This could mean a lot after being basically stomped first map. Just to pull it back together and get the second map.
Seriously, I definitely agree with that. I mean, we're gonna see the brawl comp, the double shield brawl comp from them, the Bastion on the defense, and this is looking pretty much like the last time. But guess what? We
H-Key's on the Torbjorn?
Exactly. We potentially have H-Key on the Torb. So I don't know.
It could be interesting.
Maybe they're just ready to give him a map, or maybe this is what they need. So, gonna be quite an experience here for both New York and SubZero.
I can honestly tell you, New York is not gonna be prepared to see a Torbjorn.
No, the double turret is definitely gonna fake them out. They have no Sombra to scout like last time. They don't want to go in with that time deficit, but they do only have to get one tick. So maybe they can just teleport, like if they had a Symmetra or something. So, you never know.
Got a turret on either side of the point right now. They're gonna take the stairway, moving the Bastion back a bit, back to his normal position up here.
Javion trying to get onto the point, being ready for that brawl.
He's had big moments so far this game. The brawl's coming up. Javion gonna see if he can get this tick for free, but no, Churro drops. And Trev trying to do all damage. He gets Dapper.
Oh!
The main tank goes down on the side of SubZero. And Javion gets another one.
There's
And
the
no
tank!
one touches!
Oh my god, New York!
The letter number! SubZero forgets about the point. Although there were two down. They didn't get on.
Well, here comes the clutch Nano Blade from round one.
Absolutely insane.
Boom,
Clean
boom.
Genji mechanics.
Oh my god. He killed the whole team. Oh, despite the amazing blade, though, we have New York locals taking round two. We're at 1-1 here. New York locals versus SubZero. And make sure you guys vote for your MVP, guys. So, I mean, that was a pretty sick blade. Javion doing a lot of work on Reaper. So,
Huge death boxes.
we'll be looking for your votes.
Yeah, I mean, it could go to anyone right now. Each team is performing at a very high level.
Seriously. Oh man, they're just able to like hang on that whole time and just keep it together. I didn't see anyone get crazy tilted, maybe except for the Torbjorn play. I honestly don't know what that was about. So,
I mean, I wouldn't call it a bad play, just a little odd.
yeah, I would call it not meta, but that
Yes.
doesn't necessarily mean anything.
It was just a trick up their sleeve.
Exactly.
So we will be going to Junkertown next. Purely payload map. We'll see if maybe the Bastion comes out again. Popular choice for Junkertown, but also the Double Shield, Doomfist Reaper. What are you expecting to see?
I mean, I'm definitely expecting to see kind of a pirate ship thing at one point in time. Really popular on offense, right? Just walking in, having that Bastion shielded up. We know that both teams are willing to and able to play Bastion at a good level, and that's definitely a reasonable option for both teams. And I mean, we can't deny the meta, right? We can't deny the Mei, Reaper, Doomfist, Double Shield, Moira, Lucio kind of compositions. But I also expect to potentially see a Widow. There's a lot. Just if there's no Double Shield, we might see a Widow, right?
That's true.
Like on point one, there's huge sight lines. Widow
Yes.
can go everywhere. There's great spots, and maybe that's what maybe one player is really skilled at Widow and wants to do that. So I think it's kind of up in the air. Dive, probably not going to see Dive. There's too much space. There's too many
I
long
don't think so.
distances. So definitely not something that's going to come out, in my opinion. So, but we'll have to get into the match and see it for ourselves.
We haven't seen consistent Doomfist from New York, so
Right.
maybe they will favor the Bastion Mei approach. I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
without the strong Doomfist player there, it's hard to really cement that high octane attack. The Bastion's just a much safer play in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I would say potentially that Bastion takes less skill than Doomfist. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like, if that is an ego thing, sure, but like, Bastion has his niche, and his niche is high damage, high grouping, and Doomfist is assassinations, having your combos down. At the same level, they have different roles, but potentially Bastion is a good crutch. It's a way to hold your team up under
Yes.
the pressure of something like maybe even a Doomfist that's more skilled than you on Doomfist. So adapting to your opponent's team skill is not a concession of pride, it's a adaptation to win, and winning is the most prideful thing you can do. So I think that the teams should do what it takes to win.
There really does seem to be a fine line between feast or feed on a side of a Doomfist player. So, but with the Bastion, you have him on the cart. He's not gonna be overextending, hopefully, with the Bastion player.
Right.
So, if you're not comfortable playing the Doomfist, it just makes sense that they're going to be going on the Bastion, especially with their great Mei play, which we've seen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love to play Mei. I'm super happy that Mei is kind of in the
Yes.
just because, I don't know, shooting people with icicles is a really good feeling or something. I don't know, like you headshot the Tracer, it's like, oh, bye Tracer, so whatever.
Yeah.
But you see the way the Mei wall, just warps the terrain of the map,
Yeah.
to into your favor. So it's one of the most effective skills in the game at doing that kind of thing, and it's hard for heroes without movement skills like Sigma and Orisa to really avoid that. So on dive, you can kind of just jump back, or your Genji can climb over the wall and join the fight anyways. Like, it's kind of like it doesn't make a huge difference. But with these kind of shield, high commitment, high brawl
Yes.
comps, it's just like backbreaking sometimes when you get split up.
She has such great area denial that playing against her is sometimes so frustrating, because you try to go one way and then there's a wall there, or there's a huge sphere that you can't walk in because you could get frozen.
Seriously, like, it's amazing what Mei can do. It's great that Orisa has the fortify to kind of
Yes.
get out of the freeze and things, but a lot of the times it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. She can just split your team right in half too,
Yeah.
which, I mean, wouldn't be great if you're trying to have 6 people on a point.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Overwatch is all about, So you've heard it here first. Mei breaks Overwatch because
Mei is the most overpowered character.
oh jeez.
So, into Junkertown now. As we said before, Bastion a real possibility. Double shields, most likely. that seems like that will happen. You know,
Widow, like maybe a 15% chance of Widow.
maybe looking for that first pick right off spawn. Hopefully.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
just I'll get a pick and switch, as they say.
Right. I mean that can, deny a whole entire fight, and that's, what the defense wants, and potentially even what the offense wants. But so far, we're gonna have the Mercy. That's on offense, but we have SubZero on the defense. Churro, Cash, both on their tanks. Sigma and Orisa. So May, Bastion on defense. Not what I was expecting, but not an ineffective tactic, to be sure.
Ooh, getting a pause in. So, sadly, we're going to have to wait a second to see those dueling bastions.
Indeed,
But,
indeed.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be exciting once we get there.
Yeah, the walls will just be melted. Whoever's wall lasts longer is just going to win the fight. So
we'll see how much damage can get pushed out from these teams. If we keep the Mercy on the side of New York, then the damage boost might be enough to break through the shield fast enough.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's something that Ana on defense is not going to have. So despite the sustain from Ana, Mercy can have a pretty significant amount of sustain too.
Yep.
And if the Bastion goes down, Rez can bring Bastion back into the fight a lot more quickly.
Yes.
So that could be a huge tactical advantage for New York.
Especially, like, when you have 3 shields to try to break through, I mean, that's including May's wall, which could very well be considered a shield. You're gonna have to get all of the damage in there as you can.
Right.
And in the mirror matchup, it's anyone's game, but once you add a damage amplifier like Mercy, then, you could very well win that fight right away.
Right, like if you can get a nice nade, potentially they'll be denied their healing, but behind those walls, that's one of the more difficult things to do. So the payoff for Ana, I wouldn't say takes a lot more skill, but it's a lot more difficulty to implement and even just enact based on the meta. So it's like, Pharah versus May. It's just hard to shoot a Pharah in the air, right? So like it's hard to get a Widow shot through shields. It's hard to get an Ana nade through 2 shields. So, but the Mercy, the beam, you just sit there and you increase the damage. So you can't deny their healing. You just out damage them. We'll see.
And both teams probably going to be throwing the Batiste out there as well. So whichever Batiste can get his Amp Matrix out first could really, really push the fight into their advantage. Because once you put that in front of a Bastion, he's not going to stop firing, and he's going to destroy every single shield right away.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have a ton of damage coming out. Something I'm interested in is Greg on the Roadhog. So that can make the fight in one shot, right? You can hook the Bastion, kill it, and then just dive on their or like collapse on their team. So that could just be, we don't even need to do all nitty gritty back and forth with May and with Ana and Mercy, but we'll just hook the Bastion.
Okay, well, we'll see if he stays on it for an extended period of time. And it looks like we'll be getting right back into it right now.
Yep,
Attack
10 seconds
commences.
left on the timer.
Looks like no one's switching just yet.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, Greg goes over to the Sigma.
Yeah, that might have just been a little fake out there. I'm not 100% sure. Just to fake us out, basically.
New York getting set on the car, but the Maywall hoists him up. And he's off the car. So now it's just a shield battle without any card presence. Dapper gets back on. The Maywall back out. Dapper cannot stay in one place, and he's down from Churro already. The Red's gonna try to come out, but it gets canceled. And that's 2 down from New York. And now SubZero is just gonna take over the cart. right away.
Ooh, that's gonna be difficult for New York to push into. You know, at least they died at the first corner there. They all died together. No big staggers. Gonna try to take the high ground and just probably collapse on
Yeah. They're
onto
off the
SubZero
Bastion
here.
already.
Yeah, they realize that they can't outduel them.
Maywall up on the Bastion, but Dapper gets slapped before he can finish off Trev, and he's down. So now it's a 5v6, and HK takes down Javion from the top, and yet again, getting mowed down are the New York locals. They're gonna have to retreat all the way back into spawn, but they can't, because there's a wall there blocking him, and Greg gets stuck out.
Wow, that was pretty impressive there. I mean,
HK's walls have been absolutely insane so far.
yeah. Oh my god.
They're gonna try to take this staircase again.
More walls.
More walls from HK. Javion comes from the back.
Oh, here comes the big boost, damage boost.
At Matrix goes down, but a bunch of members frozen. 2 males come out, but there's 4 kills in the kill feed for New York.
Orisa on that flank. Orisa's on the flank, guys. But the Orisa flank put out enough damage. You know, that was one time that I saw that the Fortify actually made a big difference, right? Like, able to walk out of the opposing Mei ult and take advantage of their own. So always a nice thing.
He's back on the Bastion. They're trying to get a pirate ship going after the first fight. Cash blocked out from his team, but there's too many shields there to do anything about it. A wall on the point. Dapper is on top of that car there. Very interesting spot for a Bastion.
Yeah,
The
it
card's
gives
still
them a
being
nice
pushed.
perspective, though.
Yes. Just HK on the cart. Alone, he's gonna die. Is SubZero gonna be able to hit it? They do. Supercharger out, but more Maywalls. New York is being blocked off from the point, and even with the Bastion ult, they can't get there in time. And that's 6 kills.
Woo.
They were
Man,
just blocked out time and time again from Javion's walls.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's amazing the way that can happen there with just Mei trapping you somewhere where you just can't do anything. So, New York locals pretty far up forward here, gonna make it hard for SubZero to recontest all the way along this stretch of point here, making them some really nice space.
There's a lot of space that they have conquered just by sitting on this middle bridge here.
Yeah.
Maywall comes out trying to block the sightline of Dapper, but Javion responds with one of his own. At Matrix out from Mudkipper, and Flux in too. Let's see if that's enough damage. The Batiste is there to keep them all up. A countering Flux on the opposite side, but yet another Batiste. But Greg takes down HK, who is on the card again by himself. I don't know if that's a designed thing that they're doing, but now it seems like one by one they're trying to contest the cart. Churro there alone, but he takes down Javion.
This Bastion needs to get into the fight here. I feel like the shield is protecting Churro really well, and the healing from
a
Nistrick,
big nade from Nistrick takes down Dapper.
This is where we see SubZero's resurgence, definitely.
My ultimate is ready.
Even with HK being alone on the cart, it's just enough to stall so that they can get better position, better sight lines, and take down the rest of New York.
Let me get you patched up.
Yeah,
Now we have 4 ults on the side of SubZero too. A perfect opportunity to hold them for another fight. 2 minutes remaining, just under 2 minutes.
right. I mean, they did a good job holding that first point, so it seemed. I almost feel like that New York would have more time on this second point, but only 1.5 minutes. Yeah, it could be too short, and we could see SubZero work this out here.
Bastion setting up down below again. And Matrix comes out. Not a huge anti. 3 anti there
Ooh.
from Nistrick. And using 2 ults, they manage to hold them back yet again. The only ult on the side of New York was the Batiste Matrix.
So it's 3 ults versus 1 ult because
Basically, one ult.
we saw Orisa now having their ult, but that's not potentially going to be enough.
Yeah.
So
SubZero has been cycling their ults very impressively, saying they still have 3 for this potential last fight here. 40 seconds remaining. Dapper off the Bastion and onto the Reaper, trying to get up and close and do as much damage as possible.
I think they're waiting for the Mei wall here
Yep.
to block off, but here comes
Matrix
the
comes
Bat
out.
Ball.
There's a ton of damage coming out from Trev. All stuck up there. Churl and Trev each get 1 for themselves. And the nano on the Bastion is just too much. They can't do enough damage to get him down.
The
Dapper
cart
managed
is
to get Churl.
slowly rolling backwards. The cart is slowly rolling backwards.
And there's no one there. No one's gonna be able to touch. Oh, but the ball gets there at the last second.
Ball!
Jason gets there.
This could be the
The
contest
flux
they need.
comes out from Greg. He can't stay up for himself. And on the point, it's just the Moira who manages to get the
Just a
and
few
Dapper
more.
gets
Ooh,
May.
seriously, here
flux
comes the
out.
flux.
Cash is gonna do it all by himself. Churro gets another kill. And even with a few kills sustaining on the point, I mean the Bastion's up top, you're not gonna get him down, you're not gonna break those shields.
Yeah,
And-
just too many kills on the side of SubZero, breaking the backs of New York there. Wow.
Only about 1.5 getting through for New York. So we see where the end point is now. And a good Bastion attack here from SubZero can just roll it all the way to that point.
Yeah, we consistently see that their Bastion play is better than
Yeah.
New York's. So it seems like their DPS has been making a big difference in this match.
Mhm.
Of course, also their tanks doing a lot of work. You know, it takes a lot of control to be able to be that shield for your team. So look at this. We see a Widowmaker
Maybe
potentially.
looking for that first pick.
Yeah, potentially there just to scout, also potentially there to get that kill. So I'm excited to see what happens here.
Dapper has been on and off of that Bastion this map. Looks like he'll be playing at first point here, but I wouldn't be surprised for a switch right away if he gets taken down. Let's see where New York decides to set up. They're looking like they're going to set up right on the cart.
Hey, that's not a bad place to be. That's where the attackers are going to be. So
Yeah.
let's see if they get pushed out of position, or it's definitely going to make Widow hard to use. But they're on Bastion now.
Trev on the Bastion, trying to take the alternate exit there. And really confined in this house are New York. But what's SubZero going to do about it? They're being sprayed from the entrance. A big Maywall comes in trying to block some sights. A big anti comes in. Can the Batiste keep them all up? Trev gets Dapper and the res has to be used. And the brawl is even crazier now. Greg gets frozen, but he gets out alive. Another anti.
Dapper
And Dapper
down.
goes down.
Cool.
The anti just completely chokes any hope for New York to taking that fight. Huge anti so far from Nistrik.
Yeah, that was definitely a deciding factor in the fight there. I mean, we saw New York being pretty solid. It's a really risky position. You have to have a lot of confidence in your just coordination, right? Like your cooldown cycling, and but there just wasn't something to save them from anything. Like the pressure that SubZero was able to apply in that forward position. So they're gonna have to contest the cart now, though. It's almost to the first point, and they are behind them, and all the shields are up on the back line. Trev doing too much damage, though. Well, I see a lot of people dying on New York's side, and this is going to give SubZero the point. I'm not sure what's going on here, but SubZero has 4 ults, while New York only has like 1. And we've got a lot more people coming in through the bottom side here, and while then we have New
They
York
dropped
holding on the
down
high ground.
onto the point now. Dueling males come out. Could be anyone's fight now. Dapper gets the Batiste in the back line, and the Bastion goes down too. It's hard to keep a fight up when your anchor's down. And they're gonna actually finally sustain themselves after the first point cap.
This is exactly what they needed. Seriously, like it was looking almost hopeless for them. They were getting rolled fight after fight, but I think they realized they just had to group up and go for it. And look at this. Now they're at 1 ult to 1 ult, almost 2 actually.
Oh, but
the fight
Dapper's
is
down
doing-
right away.
Oh, that's huge.
The Reaper not there. And the Flux comes out from Greg. Everyone up in the air. No Lucio ult on either side. Jason gets taken down from the Flux on the side of Cash. And with everyone in the back lines, no one's on the cart. 3 down for New York. Cash just pulling apart New York. And no one's here to contest. This is going to be it. Can Dapper contest at the last second? He can. The ball's there too. But the Supercharger is out from Jason.
And there's the
And that's
match.
it. No one else was there other than the ball. And SubZero takes Junkertown.
Man, I feel like I wanted that to be a lot closer, but they pretty much just rolled all the way through. Just one little hiccup there for SubZero on attack, but they were able to push through despite the resistance.
The Bastion play just seems a lot better on the side of SubZero. Dapper seems to not really be comfortable playing the Bastion right now. Keeps switching off and onto that Reaper. So the confidence just isn't there.
I mean, it could be that. I mean, it could also be that SubZero is a lot better at dealing with Bastion, right?
That's
Maybe
true.
they're more used to the meta. But I mean, I think what you're saying definitely. You know, we've both said this, but I think it makes a bit of a difference too. Like the fact maybe SubZero is better at dealing with it, and the New York locals like Dapper specifically is not quite as skilled on Bastion. You know, that's totally fine. But the rest of the team seems to be doing a great job too. And I'm not calling Dapper out by any means.
Yes.
Please vote for him in MVP if you think they're the MVP. But like, that's just, I'm looking for ways that New York could potentially improve in this matchup. So feel free to take my suggestion or don't, because I'm like a plat scrub. So there we go.
HKey's walls have been very impressive to put
Oh,
that
yes.
Bastion out of position though.
You're so right. I totally forgot to mention that. But like every time on defense, like HK was boosting Bastion above the shield and just really on top of it, right? He knows his role.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very hard to play Bastion when a Mei keeps putting you places that you don't really want to be.
It's like, wait, how did I get here? Yeah. Anyways, last map is going to be Numbani, and that's our hybrid map. Numbani's an interesting map, though. It's got a lot of high ground. It's got some specific kind of push styles on the first point to try to capture another map where Bastion is viable, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, Numbani is definitely a very exciting map. First point, a lot of high ground, a lot of places to hide, a lot of places to attack. And then Street Phase, you know, it's long. You can get 2 or 3 fights there if you're the defense. You know, a lot of different comps can come out on Numbani. Maybe we see SubZero try out their dive again on this first point. So honestly, I'm excited to see what they pull out.
yeah, it's going to be hard to see exactly what they're going to do, but at least on the side of the defense, we're going to see the classic Mei and Reaper HK, you know, back on the Mei. Moira, Lucio looking really strong, going to be able to rotate both the team all the way around the point and on the low ground and reposition as necessary based on attacks. Trev actually going to be on Bastion or Reaper this time, foregoing the Bastion. on this, but potentially on the side of New York, we have Dapper on back on Bastion, and the double shield Farah Mercy coming out. So they're going to try to use that airspace to their advantage.
Very interesting. I assume we'll see a flank from the Farah here around the left side, and the Bastion trying to take that position up top. Looks like the Farah is going main, actually.
Yeah, getting the scout and then looking to move around to the far side.
But SubZero is right here up top. The shield comes out from the Sigma, and a huge rock.
Oh,
and he's off the map!
Oh my god, a whole rock.
Stuns him off the map.
What
a great play for the tanks there. You can't res that one.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
That just shows the amount of communication that SubZero has right now. They're ready to bring it. So let's see if New York can bring the same level of.
And New York is immediately giving up on this strat. Dapper goes over to the Doomfist. Javion onto the Reaper. A classic comp here. They're gonna take the main low ground here. May's gonna try to block him off. Churro being bullied down there. A back and forth battle on the point. Damage coming out for both teams. Dapper going low. Churro gets taken down first. Javion in the back line takes down 2. And a punch from Dapper takes down their Lucio. And right after the first fight, they switch to the Doomfist Reaper and brawl it out on the point and take it right away.
Yep, well, that's how it works. You know, they had the discipline to switch their composition like before they lost too much ult charge. So switching early in that kind of situation is exactly what you want to do. So whoever the shot called that was the right decision. Clearly, it gave you the first point. And
they managed to get a point before SubZero could even get an ult off. So it was still like basically a first point push.
Seriously. And I mean, there's a bunch of ults coming up from both teams. We see SubZero and with Sigma and Moira. Here comes the
Death Blossom comes down, gets the Lucio. Yeah. That's all it's gonna get, but it does enough damage. The Mail comes out from H-Keep. The point, unaccessible. Javion down in the back line. But H-Keep himself is down, being overextended on that card a little bit. So now we can see what's coming out. Dueling Flux is out. Dapper gets the Moira. And granted, Flux is a little bit bigger. 4
in
the kill feed.
Yeah, and we saw the Dapper just kind of use his ult there to assassinate Churro to clean up that fight. So wow, yeah, really clean there from it. It didn't seem that clean when I was watching it, but now that I think about it, like it was, you know, they both used 2 ults, and New York came out on top, giving them point 2.
New York's gonna take it without another fight.
Yeah, and pushing last here, you know, has a couple options, but most teams decide to go main. Just gotta kind of walk up.
Oh, a quick 3 kills from SubZero. The Death Blossom to help out on that. Dapper gets one in the back line, but it's not gonna do anything for New York, and Dapper gets staggered too at the end.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But this is the place to die, right? Like you're close to the cart, you're before the choke point, and I don't think that New York locals is gonna mind this too much.
Yeah, it's not the worst place to lose a fight. SubZero's still around that corner, so they're just gonna have to go at it again. The supercharger comes out from Jason, but HK takes down Dapper in the backline. HK looking for another opportunity. The Coalescence pushing New York back. And HK is running rampant. Jason and Greg down. And yet another reset for New York. So although it's still not it's still not the worst place, but you gotta wonder if they should take another angle for this attack.
Right, maybe they want to go up top and drop down behind. That's risky, but their DPS could just kind of sit there and wait. Looks like that's what they're trying to do, but
DPS
they've been spotted.
Yep.
Yeah, they have been spotted.
I'm gonna hope to get around this corner. 3rd attempt now. Javion up top with his Death Blossom. Could expect to see that soon. Meteor Strike coming in. Javion gets one in the back line, and quickly, the meter strike doesn't get anything. The sound barrier turns the fight around, and the DPS tear apart every member of SubZero.
Man, Orisa gonna push almost all the way up here. This is gonna be exactly what they want to see. They're almost to the last point.
Dapper gets HP before the fight can even start. Flux comes out, no sound barrier, but damage is already done. The Flux isn't gonna do anything.
Oh my god,
the backline's
nothing
already
matters.
dead. The Reaper just tried to stall out on point, and New York is gonna take 2 quick fights. The beat comes out. H-Key manages to get it. 2 on point now, but H-Key's knocked off. Just Lucio on point.
They're not totally dead yet.
They're not out of it yet.
Testing.
The supercharger.
They've got the spawn advantage.
Moira's still in the back line. Just no kills are coming through for SubZero. He's gonna have to touch, but he can't. 2 minutes on the clock for New York. A very, very impressive push.
Yeah, wow, man. I don't know if I would say that's what I was expecting, but after that first point capture, like, they were just all guns blazing. A little bit of a hitch at point 2, you know, going to point 3, but like, nothing doing here.
It didn't really bug him too much.
Seriously, like, wow. Do we see a new Team New York locals? Like, I don't know.
They seem to be firing on all cylinders right now.
Seriously.
It was really interesting. I saw that Mudkipper used his sound barrier not in response to the Flux, but just to swing the favor in one of the fights down by 3rd point. And when Cash managed to get his Flux off, it didn't get anyone. So even though there wasn't an answering sound barrier from Mudkipper, it didn't really matter because the Flux didn't get anything itself.
Are you saying he missed the Flux, or they were all too high health?
He didn't really miss it. He got 1 or 2, but it just at that point in time, it was near the end of the push, so it was everyone was trickling, and there was just too much sustain on the side of New York.
Right.
So it was good, very good payoff for Mudkipper.
Yeah, kind of negating an ult and swinging. So, yeah, they had already I see what you mean. Yeah, so they had won. They were winning the fight because of the beat, and then it basically tempted and baited Cash into using his Flux, and then gave them the momentum that they needed. Anyways, Sombra out from SubZero, gonna scout out the team, maybe try to get a hack on the Bastion that we see, or not the Bastion, but the Doomfist or a shield character on the New York defense.
Switches over to the Reaper though, going for the classic Doomfist Reaper. Taking their presence on the point right now. Just claim it as their own. H-Key's in, then out right away. Doomfist going in and out, but Greg takes out H-Key. He couldn't get back to his team fast enough. And they're just going to try to force him off the point. Trev, he's not going to get anything done. Brawling on the point. Now it's a 4v6. Shuro and Omiske go down. And that's a quick first defense for New York.
Yeah, that is not going nearly as smoothly as New York's offense, but man, we know that SubZero can brawl, but New York seems to have adapted their playstyle. They found their niche. We have Javion on Reaper, Dapper on Doomfist. They've almost got ultimate, and this is going to be a pretty intense second fight here. Could decide this map.
On the side of the ult battle. Although Cash is very close to his Flux, he has it. Mudkipper not even close to his sound barrier. SubZero on the point. 2 coalescence come down. Meteor Strike looking for anyone. Finds a big pull. Dapper gets big. Trev.
Oof.
Shuro down 2. And SubZero's gonna have to just run away again.
Yeah, what an insane combination there.
The pull into the Meteor Strike is absolutely incredible for 1 or 2 kills every single time.
Seriously, like, honestly, he didn't even have to kill anyone with that Meteor Strike. It just did so much damage that the rest of the team, it just put the rest of the team, able to win the fight just like immediately, especially without any sort of real defensive ults like Sound Barrier. Now that Omise, or yeah, has sound barrier, we might see a bit of a difference here in the fight. Mudkipper's still a bit further away.
A brawl on the top here. 3 down already from SubZero. This fight, the supercharger is just enough damage to tear him down. So, wow. New
They're
York
really-
is gonna win the fight using 1 ult. That's all they needed.
That's all they needed, and they're gonna have 2 healer ults on the next fight. So potentially it's gonna be 4 ults versus 4 ults, depending on if Churro can get their bongo, and this is gonna be a close one. They've got 1 minute left. If they don't commit to this fight, I don't know if they're gonna be able to win them.
Flux comes out, but the beat's there right away. And an answering Flux. Yep, there's answering beat. Coalescence comes out. Javion with the Death Blossom takes down Churro. Main tank gone. And SubZero's backing down again. Backing down to the staircase.
They know they need to retreat.
A punch tries to come in from HK, but he can't find anything cheeky. And yet again, a push just halted right away. Although,
Seriously.
looks
The
like
ult
no
advantage,
ults.
though. Seriously,
Yeah.
I know, it's so scary.
4 ults on the side of SubZero now.
I can't see SubZero not winning this fight now.
You would really hope not. Dueling punches. Dapper gets taken down right away. The Coalescence and the Supercharger on the point. That's a lot of damage. Javion taken down. Trev with the Death Blossom, adding some damage to the fight. And finally, SubZero's going to take it with 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, maybe they'll go into overtime? Nope.
Close, but...
Yeah,
finally,
that's huge
pull their
for
ults together.
SubZero.
Yep.
But now they have to walk the rest of the map.
The Supercharger Coalescence, it's a lot. It goes through the shields, does a lot of damage. It's gonna burn these characters down.
Yeah, they really leverage those ult combinations, break the formation of Team New York locals really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could have done that without that, but we saw that Team New York was really committing to that first point, and now they're pretty much even on ultimate charge. So
Yeah. Coalescence comes out from Anion. Meteor strike out, looking to see maybe if he can get a healer in the backline. Drops it right on Churro and he's down. Javion finishes him off.
ooh.
And New York's gonna take it back. Churro down right away again.
They're at their spawn right now, by the way. They're pushing really far forward and committing really hard. I mean, we're gonna see Cash have their Flux very quickly here. They might have to end up using that to break past the spawn defense.
They get out. The Flux comes out from Cash. He takes down Mudkipper in the air, and another kill onto Dapper. The Flux, without the sound barrier to counter it, does a ton of damage, and Cash capitalizes on that. And SubZero takes down New York. Now, I don't know if New York's going to be able to get another hold on the second point here.
Yeah, they're gonna try to get there. I know that Dapper's diving into the stall. Gonna be met by Trev on the high ground. Might be close, depending on who wins that duel. But
Approaching.
looks like
gonna
they're
hop on at the
barely
last
gonna get
second.
there.
They hop on, but HK takes down Dapper right away. The Flux comes out into the Death Blossom and gets the Lucio. He's not there. He can't give a sound barrier. So the Supercharger comes out from Jason, and Churro's down. And they're gonna take it.
Oh my god.
1 meter to go. And with 20 seconds left, SubZero's on a broken leg.
I know, seriously, they've got one ultimate defensive ult. They weren't able to leverage it in that fight. Potentially, we'll see Bongo coming out. I mean, we'll probably see Meteor Strike in a second, but that's not everything that they need.
Cash gets her with the ball. All grouped up on the point now. Sound barrier comes out. Dueling sound barriers now.
Oh, they gotta get the cart!
Oh! They C9! They cap second point! When everything was going right for New York, they forget about the point. And now it's just a cleanup. HK taking down 2. And before the fight can even happen, it's a second cap.
Seriously, like in the middle of the fight, the point is capped. That, man, that must feel bad for New York, but like they were giving themselves a valiant effort, right? We see Javion on the high ground trying to get the Death Blossom off.
He jumps down with it, gets booped back up into the air. Nothing happening with that one. Trev comes in with his own Death Blossom, but Jivion and Dapper in the back line have already done enough damage. There's nothing SubZero can do now except back off.
Yeah, they've got to retreat. This is perfect for New York. They're gonna push them back to their spawn. Maybe if SubZero can leverage to get someone through on the high ground to touch that cart. They've only got 30 seconds left though, and they know that SubZero is going to be pushing hard. So 2 ults from the side of New York.
Nothing really good on the ult department for SubZero. Supercharger comes out from the Orisa. Coalescence with that. And a Flux too. There's a ton of damage on the side of New York. And it's just going to eat through all of the health bars on the side of SubZero. And that's it for Numbani. New York pulls it together and prevents the full cap. Wins map 4.
Ooh, man. There we
A
go, New
2-2.
York locals. 2-2.
Very exciting match.
Man, it was almost like every time it was almost you know we saw New York fighting hard every time, but
Yep.
it was either SubZero rolling or New York just doing a good job, right? And
Yeah.
bringing it to SubZero's. It's like really hard to say exactly how I wouldn't say skilled these teams are, but both of them are just like they're right at the same level. But I think that New York has some maps that they could work on to really improve their gameplay. So we're make sure you guys vote for the MVP poll. We want to see your guys' response to that. So let us know by voting in the poll. And if you enjoyed the content here, subscribe if you like. Give us a follow. And we're going to be bringing in our post-match interview in just a minute here. So stay tuned for that, guys. Stream's not over yet.
And also, we'll be revealing who the MVP is.
Of course.
So make sure you guys get your last votes in for that one. A lot of good plays on each side.
Hello?
Hello, Dapper, and welcome to the post-match interview. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really great.
So,
Go ahead.
a very close match between you two. Each team getting 2 maps. Do you feel like you guys could have pulled out one of the maps that you lost? Like, how do you feel about the maps you lost?
The maps we lost. Well, I think Junkertown, we made a lot of mistakes with our initial defense strats and our attack strats. With when we were holding defense, we held on the close left, and we stood there too long, and we got anti-nated and we got walled, and we lost that fight, and it kind of snowballed out of control.
Yeah.
And then we were playing attack. They stood at the corner of the staircases, and we tried to wall the Bastion up and kill him, but that didn't work out. It took a couple tries, and so our snowball was least effective. I think Junkertown was just a matter of preparation and just playing the map more in scrims to get a better handle on how to play that map better. I think first point was just nerves and us like warming up and stuff like that. After that, kind of had a pep talk, rallied the team, like focus up, ult track, stuff like that, and we got in the zone, and then for map 2 we demolished them. Like we had a little bit of hiccups at the first. We were kind of figuring out our strat, but once we knew what to do, we kind of steamrolled them. It was kind of easy. It was very easy. And then the last map, I just think my Doom Reaper is superior. My Doom killed them a lot.
We were talking about that quite a bit, actually.
And their Doom tried to counterplay me. He was scared of me. And you know what? That guy is not fun. He's a Sombra. He's a Sombra player. I bet he plays a lot of Sombra in comp. So, yeah, but like my punches were great, my slams were great, and my team is amazing. They all did their job. So, yeah.
That's great that you have the support of your team, right? So, we comment. How do you feel about playing Bastion? We were talking a lot about the Bastion 1v1 and saying that you were definitely better on Doomfist during all of these maps, and the Bastion seemed like a bit of a weak point, or just something your team had to practice. So, would you say that is true?
Well, there's two type of comps in Overwatch. There's the comps where you carry, and there's the comps you can't. I can't carry on Bastion. I'm not gonna lie. It's a team effort, and it's something we'll have to go over in VOD review with map review and talking to everyone, making sure we're on the same page. I'm just a sitting duck, you know. I'm just shooting stuff. I can't even click on heads. I'm just shooting in the dark. Most of the time, all my teammates are in front of me, so all I can see is just like the behinds of all my teammates. So I kind of just shoot in the dark. But like, it's a team thing, and we're dedicated. We're gonna do some bot review. But when it's Doom time, you know, I'm gonna be punching people, and I'm gonna carry.
Yeah,
Nice.
I would agree. This is definitely a great match to review. Both teams were really close, kind of the whole time, especially on the maps that you guys won. They were hard-fought wins, and you know I definitely commend you guys for that. I don't know. You got any more questions?
So, if you could shout out one player on your team that really you felt like made an impact today, who would it be?
Javion.
Yes.
Javion
Yes.
in the chat. Did you see that 6K on Horizon?
Yes, it was
that
incredible.
was just 5 head. He knew, he baited out cooldowns. He said, I'm gonna blossom. We supported him. He got the 6K. We called targets, and on first attack when we booped people off of high ground, he was right there when they got booped off onto point, and he would kill them. It was just Javion Pog in the chat. That guy knows.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. That he had some amazing plays and looked like he was in sync the whole time, right? So,
Well, congrats on the tie. You know, it's better than a loss.
It's better than a loss, you know.
So on Oasis, you weren't in that map, were you? If
No,
remember
I was
correctly.
not.
What, like, why weren't you in that map?
There's my boy. If you stay, he's a
Mhm.
married man, and it's a married man meta, you know. And you know, we're New York locals. All of our players are
Mhm.
from New York, and I just had an epiphany. Like he kind of looks like Sabiobi. Maybe he's Sabiobi in disguise. He wasn't Sabiobi in disguise.
Yeah,
Unfortunate. It wasn't just him. It was a team effort.
of course.
I'm like me. I'm the owner. I'm the coach.
Mhm.
I'm the manager of New York Locals, and I'm also a player. But like, if I need a play in and I need to, you know, pick up the slack and carry, you know, I gotta carry. You know, I came in with some coaching advice. I was like, you gotta, you know, a ton of stuff, and you know, it isn't the married man meta anymore. I think it got nerfed.
well, it definitely your advice brought the team 2 solid fought victories, and that's the most you can ask for at this point. So, great job.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
I'm all
What you meant?
set, man. Thanks for coming to the interview, Dapper. There weren't any questions you had, Ryan, right? So I think we're good to let you go, man. Thanks for the interview, and
Thank you.
congrats on the hard-fought victories in that.
Of course. Happy to be here. Bye.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
So we saw 2v2. Each team picks up a map or 2 maps for themselves. We have our MVP, and that goes to Trev for SubZero. A lot of great Reaper plays, Bastion plays certainly.
I would agree with that. Some really solid Bastion play from Trev there. Also, just generally excellent DPS play. So
Yes.
thanks for voting in that MVP poll, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream.
I'm sure these teams will be grinding it out, and you'll definitely see these teams again and again. Great group of 12 players that we saw. 13 actually, because we had that one substitution. So we'll definitely be seeing them around. And I mean, it really felt like that this was a complete evenly matched game. Both. I mean, obviously you can see with the scoreline 2-2. Both teams did their best to try to pull it out, but a tie is what we get. And I mean, each member from each team seemed to match up perfectly with the other.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, if you consider that SubZero is a team that's been around for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
right? Like, they're going to be going to their third DreamHack in November, and they're grinding for Open Division, right? They're trying to get into Tier 3, make it into real maybe contenders. You never know. New York locals, maybe a little bit of a newcomers on the scene, brought it to this amazing high quality team. It's just like there's nothing else besides this kind of competitive spirit that you can ask for. So amazing job from both teams, bringing it to a 2-2 tie. That makes for some of the most exciting Overwatch to cast, some of the most exciting Overwatch to watch, and I hope you guys all enjoyed. So
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better match. It's exciting, and it was down to the wire.
all right, guys, how about we sign off here? I've been Moshi Man. I'm your caster here. I was doing some little color casting for you, joined by Ryan.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at RyanOW. Got some hot takes. Swear to God.
Fire.
All right. Thanks for everyone watching. It was a pleasure. It was an honor.
Yep. Thanks for coming out, everyone, and I hope you guys enjoy. This is Motion Man signing off.
See you, everyone.